The humans were a joke until they weren't. High Warlord Zolvat flicked his mandibles in irritation as the intelligence report flickered across his display. The war briefing aboard a Dominion war cruiser Zarin was packed with officers, their uniforms pristine, their gazes locked onto the holographic projections detailing the contested sector. The war had been smooth. The Dominion had crushed every world in its path, bending lesser species beneath the weight of its fleets. But now, the impossible had happened. Humans, long dismissed as extinct, whispers from a ruined past, had returned. Strategist Lorven, Zolvat's second-in-command, clicked his limbs in amusement. Surely this is deception. Humans are myths, Warlord. We exterminated them centuries ago. The chamber rumbled with agreement. Every record agreed. Humanity had perished long before the Dominion reached its current strength. Explain, Zolvat commanded. The intelligence officer, a wiry being from a vassal species, swallowed nervously and brought up a visual. A deep space skin showed an Armada, a fleet of ships unlike any Dominion vessel, angular and bristling with weapons pulsing with unknown energy. They were not scavengers or rebels. They were an army. No one laughed now. Strategist Lorven leaned forward. Humor gone. A fabrication, perhaps? A lesser species using human designs to instill fear. The intelligence officer's mandibles twitched. We thought so, too, until we intercepted their transmission. A hologram materialized, a pale-skinned creature with shaved head, clad in a dark uniform. His voice was steady, resolute. This is Admiral Jonathan Hale of the Terran Ascendancy. Your war crimes against our colonies will not go unanswered. The Dominion's reign ends now. Silence engulfed the chamber. Zolvat turned back to the officer. Their strength? The officer hesitated. Over 1,000 warships in their forward fleet. Their true numbers are unknown. That is impossible, Lorven hissed. If they had such numbers, we would have detected them. They used the rift, the officer replied. They emerged from deep space anomalies beyond our charted regions. Zolvat felt a cold certainty settle in his core. The rift, a graveyard of lost ships, a void that consumed fleets whole, had not claimed them. Instead, humanity had harnessed it. Another projection appeared, an intercepted data burst. A single phrase looped through every Dominion frequency. We have returned. Zolvat did not hesitate. Order the first and second fleets to intercept. We crush them before they become a true threat. The officers saluted, but in their eyes, Zolvat saw hesitation. The Dominion had never lost before, but the humans had returned for vengeance, and vengeance was something no Dominion world was prepared for. The Dominion fleet burned. High Warlord Zolvat stood on the command deck of Zarin, mandibles tight as the battle unfolded. What should have been a swift execution had turned into a slaughter of the Dominion. Human ships moved with terrifying precision, weaving through fire like they had rehearsed the battle 1,000 times. Dominion energy lances seared across the void, but human armor held. Their counterfire was relentless, tearing through formations with cold efficiency. A warship, TSF Ares, speared to the Dominion's right flank, unleashing bombardments that gutted 2 Dominion cruisers before pivoting into another assault. Human vessels moved too fast, their thrusters burning hotter than any recorded design. Do we have readings on their technology? Zolvat demanded. The intelligence officers scanned the data. Fusion cores, more efficient than anything in our records. Their weapons use electromagnetic acceleration with mass-based projectiles. And their shields, they don't absorb damage. They redirect it. Not possible, Lorven whispered. Yet the battlefield cared little for disbelief. A Dominion dreadnought, Voro, unleashed its primary beam at the human flagship. The blast struck, but instead of destruction, the human vessel absorbed the impact, redirecting the energy into its cannons. The return shot split Voro in half. Zolvat exhaled slowly. They had underestimated them. Humanity had not only survived, they had grown beyond anything the Dominion had imagined. A transmission request flickered on his display. Admiral Jonathan Hale. Zolvat could refuse. He could order his ships to fight to the last. But something in his core told him that would be a mistake. He accepted, The human admiral appeared, his expression unreadable. He was not gloating. He was not laughing. He was waiting. "You understand your position?" Hale said, calm, measured. "Not an offer of peace, a statement of certainty." Zolvat glanced at the battle beyond the viewport. Dominion ships burned. Others attempted to retreat. But the human fleet was closing every path, a noose tightening. "You could demand surrender," Zolvat said. "But that is not what you're doing." Hale's gaze did not waver. The Dominion did not offer surrender when it came for our colonies. Zolvat felt the weight of history in those words. He had read the records. The Dominion had wiped Earth clean, leaving only scattered survivors in the void. Humanity had been considered extinct. A mistake that had come back to kill them. "You have won this battle," Zolvat admitted. Hale inclined his head. "This is not just a battle. This is the beginning." Beyond the viewport, the last Dominion ships fell. The human armada was methodical, reducing resistance to debris with surgical precision. Zolvat turned back to Hale. "What now?" Hale studied him. Then, with a voice as cold as the void, he said, "You know the answer." A deep silence filled Zaren's command deck. Every officer knew what had to be done. No one spoke it aloud. Zolvat straightened. "We have ruled for centuries. We built a dominion to last beyond time itself. Do you think we will vanish because of one lost battle?" "The Dominion built itself on myth," Hale replied. "You believed yourselves invincible, and yet the myths you crush have returned." Zolvat clicked his mandibles. "And what of your kind, Admiral? You call yourselves myths, yet you return as conquerors." Hale's gaze sharpened. "We are not conquerors. We are the consequence of your arrogance." Zolvat exhaled. Humanity had become the nightmare the Dominion feared. He turned to his officers. They did not speak. Their fate was sealed. "You will not find us so easily beaten," Zolvat said at last. "Even if we fall, we will not simply vanish." Hale nodded, but there was no triumph in his expression. "Neither did we." The transmission cut. The battle was over, and the war had just begun.